Does Palworld have a meta? Well, the short answer is actually yes, but it's not where you think it is, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you where. Now to start off, I am going to be showing my base location. I'm not saying this location is the best, but it's maybe give you an idea as to why I'm here. I have a black marketeer in this location, and then my base is directly on top of a dungeon, which hopefully you can see here. Currently it's not active. So the reason I've put my base here is twofold. One, black marketer that I don't have to waste time catching or putting in my base and consuming a slot, and two, there's a dungeon. My base is on top of like the main island of where you spawn, like the main area. You can see it here. We spawn down in the lower part, so it is quite a distance away from where we spawn, but it is also not too far or intraversable early game. The average enemy level around where we are is between 22 and 28, depending on the actual spawn that happens. Now the meta that I'm actually referring to is your base meta. Up first we have a Jormunted Ignis, which comes with level 4 kindling. This is all of your cooking. And Orsurk, I got lucky with a shiny one, and this is level 4 electricity. The main one is actually going to be Lylene. She has level 4 planting, level 3 handiwork, level 3 medicine, and level 2 gathering. She is pretty OP when it comes to actually putting one in your base. I got one with Lucky and Workaholic, so I'm pretty happy here. I would prefer Artisan. For watering a Jormunted, these are actually pretty readily available, but they do require level 45. For handiwork, level 4 and mining level 3, Anubis. Astigan for mining level 4. He also comes with handiwork level 1, but A Frostallion, I got one with Artisan, which I'm really happy about for cooling, although I do feel like the whole cooling mechanic does need a bit of work, hopefully. And last on the actual list is actually a Wumpo, who comes with handiwork 2, lumbering 2, cooling 2, and transport 4. Between these 9 pals, it's literally it, 9 pals, you basically have all of the production in your base solved. That is it. They will literally do everything. The remaining slots here, which I have actually upped to 20 from the base 15, is going to be, I don't know how to pronounce this, the cow, Mao, the cat, Chickapee, the chicken, Lambill or Lamble, the sheep, Capriti, the cabbage rabbit, Woollywoop, the weird bunny thing, there's Sibilix, I believe it's called. And then finally we have Vixie, Flambell, and a Belguard. The reason I have all of these in and have upped my base capacity to 20 is I'm able to fit all of these in, and these are all of the pals that are able to do the grazing, essentially, at the ranch. And this still leaves me with 2 slots that I am able to use for breeding, and I'll get into breeding in another video. Let's just say that it's actually not worth it at all. So 9 pals solve all of the production in your base. The handiwork, the crafting, the gathering, everything. They solve it. The remainder are for the grazing. And like I said, the last 2 are for this horribly horrible breeding thing. It's so bad. It really is. Now, despite the fact that this is probably the most powerful way to actually set up the pals in your base, it does have its own problems, which is quite simply Jormunted and Jormunted Ignis are very large, and they get stuck on random blades of grass and that's starving to death. As you can see, Jormunted is absolutely huge, and if we find Jormunted Ignis, which actually isn't that hard at the moment, he's currently over in the left-hand side. There he is, absolutely stuck. So what we're actually going to do, we're going to remove these 2, and we're going to put a Suzuku and a Suzuku Aqua. These are level 3 in kindling and watering, but as long as you've got the base upgrades, the fountain as well as the sparky box fire thing, they're actually perfectly okay for all of your watering as well as the cooking and the smelting. These are perfectly fine, and they're just a little bit easier since due to the fact that they're flyers, they move around your base a bit quicker. They do the exact same job. They do it not as efficiently, but not bad either. And once you hit to the end game, these are actually 2 that I would actually recommend over Jormungandr and Jormungandr Ignis, just because I don't know what it is, but I'll leave them in those 2 in my base. I'll go for a little adventure, I come back and they're both incapacitated basically 99% of the time, and it's just because they got stuck on a blade of grass or a rock or something, and then they starve to death. It's great fun. So yeah, this is how I have my base set up. I literally have no dramas doing anything. I can craft like 200 legendary balls and it's done within 5 minutes. On occasion, I will put a second Anubis in, just because I don't really do a lot of breeding. And the main reason I don't use the mining site here is simply just because this area actually has repeatable spawning rocks, which I can utilize. And also the main reason I don't use logging is, 1, wood actually isn't that hard to come by. However, a lot of pals seem to really weirdly prioritize lumbering rather than doing something that you've actually set them to, which I find quite strange. So I've just removed lumbering. A lot of the time, I'll try and craft something and the pal just completely ignores it and just sits there at the logging site 24/7. So for me, this is quite infuriating. Anyway, like I said, this is how my base is set up. I'm not sure about the design of it. Might need to readjust it for like the millionth time. But for the moment, this is working perfectly fine. Have fun, good luck, don't die. It's bad for the health.